Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Danny Gobby Gymnasium here for our third game of the evening between Expression Prep out of Huntington and the Chapmanville Tigers. Chris Kidd here with you, alongside me Dwayne Williams and J.J. Pruitt, our engineer as well tonight. And, we just got the rosters and everything situated down there. It took a little bit to try and get things done the right way after a couple of flubs, but now we're ready to go as we get started. Really couldn't have asked for two better games to get started here tonight, Dwayne, with both of them coming down to the final shot.
Yeah, you said it, Chris. I mean, we have a triple header, and the first two have done their part. Each game coming down with Chapmanville needing a three-pointer at the end, almost mirror images of each other, and hoping this varsity action, the nightcap, can deliver the same action.
Again, Chapmanville trying to get their first win here tonight over Expression Prep. Again, lost the middle school game by 2, had a last-second 3 that almost went, and then the JV game led throughout that contest before Expression Prep was able to take the lead late. And Chapmanville then had a 3 to try and win it from the corner, just couldn't get it to fall. They hope for better luck here in the varsity game as they come out of the locker room getting set for action here tonight. We'll step aside for a quick break and come back and be ready for the tip-off here between the Tigers and Expression Prep as you are watching high school basketball action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank & Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank & Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Back here at Danny Gobby Gymnasium, Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams here, J.J. Pruitt along with us. And we are getting set for what should be an excellent varsity game. As we've seen Expression Prep already this year, Dwayne, as they were able to take the win from Logan in a late comeback here at the Bob Runyon Memorial Holiday Tournament, winning that by 7 at the end of the day, as game Logan led throughout most of the way before Expression Prep really turned it on late in that second half, and now Chapmanville going to see if they can do what Logan almost did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that game you described was such a fantastic game, and I'm hoping we're seeing a replay of the intensity and the talent. And they're such a fun team to watch, and I'm anxious to see what the Tigers do to combat them.
Now looking at the starting lineups for both sides for Expression Prep. It'll be Joel Frazier, Mark Brown, Caden West, Alex Starcher, and Michael Cox. For the Tigers here this evening, it'll be Benji Adkins, Jay Brock, Dakota Dalton, Eli Smith, and Logan Hovanak. And really, there's not been any sort of let up for this Chapmanville Tiger club since the start of the season, Dwayne. Every matchup they've had has been a tough competitor, this being no different than any other game so far this season, and they've really met the occasion on quite a few after that opening loss to Greater Beckley.
Yeah, you said it, Chris, because they are known for playing tough schedules. They don't really care about their win-loss record in the regular season because they're preparing for Charleston in the state tournament, and Coach Knapper's always went that route, scheduling tough teams, and this one is no different.
And you see Kai Martin as well get some playing time here tonight, the transfer from GW, another big man for the Chapmanville Tigers. And like we said, there you get him, Benji, and Keaton Terry all together. Hopefully by the end of the week, you could have a fantastic interior for this Chapmanville Tiger team going forward this year.
Just gives them another a weapon to accessorize there and attack people with.
Well, glad you're with us here this evening on the D&D Sports Network as Chapmanville controls the tip. First possession to them as Hovanak out front for Dalton. Dalton gives it back for Jay Brock. Brock back to Hovanak, and a little bit of a switch off zone here almost early on as they go down low to Adkins, and Benji will go to work on the right block.
Immediately underneath the Benji Adkins. We saw that earlier in the season. They started that game, and why not? He's a presence underneath and has the skill to finish.
2-0 right out of the gate for Chapmanville as Starcher gives it off top of the key for Cox. Cox trying to drive in on Hovanak. Instead gives it back out for Starcher. Man-to-man defense for Chapmanville. Starcher goes for a three. Looked like that got caught in his hand. Never really got rid of it clean, and that'll go out of bounds to Chapmanville.
Yeah, it didn't come off the hand clean at all. He took his time and come around that screen nicely, but unable to get a clean finish there.
Yeah, it's just one of those kind of gets stuck in the palm almost when you're trying to get rid of it, and that just came out with no rotation.
None at all.
And Chapmanville looking to break the pressure, able to do so as Atkins over to Brock, left side, layup is good. Textbook
way to break the press, and they should know because they run the press almost more than anybody, so they're used to practicing against it. Nice finish there by Brock from the feed from Benji Atkins.
Now Starcher out front with it. Good start here for the Tigers. So give it back over to Brown. He'll work his way inside. Pass tipped by Brock. He saves it inbounds over to Dalton.
Nice job by Brock. A little bit of showboating there. A bit behind the back save on the sideline. Fantastic job by Brock.
He's been such a defensive presence for Chapmanville this season as Hovanak long too strong, but Benji there on the rebound goes up and he'll be fouled.
Expression Prep not able to handle that defensive rebound. Bounces right into the arms of Benji Atkins, and he knows what to do is go right up with it, goes to the line. He's been involved in all the points so far. 1 score, 1 assist, and now he steps to the line.
Starcher will pick up the foul that time as Atkins' first free throw off the mark. And this has been one area where Chapmanville has had their difficulty so far this year is at the free throw line. Again, they really struggled against Expression Prep, struggled in the Bob Runyon tournament as well. But trying to see if they can find their footing from the free throw line as they do knock down the second.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a point of emphasis by the whole coaching staff to get them back on track from the line because the way they attack the rim, they're going to be there a lot this season.
5-0 Chapmanville out of the gate as Cox goes inside for Starcher on the left block. Tough adjustment for him, but gets it to go.
What a nice no-look pass there by Cox. Great feed inside and results in 2 points from Starcher.
5-2 Chapmanville. 2 minutes into the game. Dalton bounce pass over to Adkins. Atkins doesn't see anything he likes, so he'll wait. Gives it over for Smith. Smith will go up top. Dalton straight on three. Buries it.
Dakota Dalton gets things started nicely as far as he's concerned. Nails his first 3 of the game on his first attempt.
Again, set his feet great, stepped into that one, and a 3-pointer pushes this to a 6-point lead. So now Starcher at the top of the key, looking, trying to find anyone now. Instead, gives it over to Brown on the left side. Brown, tough pass inside, and there's Brock jumping in the passing lane.
Brock once again making things happen. The Tigers on the move.
Smith, tough take on the left side. Again, just too much momentum as he came in.
Nice attempt there and able to get it home. Now Expression Prep bring it back the other way.
Move it over to the corner. Frazier, 3 up, rattles out and taken by Smith. They look up ahead for Hovanak. Hovanak waits on everyone else. Wow, somehow fit that pass into Smith. What a layup by Smith as he'll get it and go to the line for one. What a pass by Hovanak.
You said it, Chris. What a layup by Smith, but that pass, he threaded the needle. And you look at this starting 5 for this Tigers team tonight. There's no weak link offensively or defensively. All can rebound. They can run with the ball. Everybody can play that point guard position and run it, get in their offense. They're all great passers and obviously all great finishers as well.
Smith sinks the free throw as he converts the three-point play, and Chapmanville has raced out to a 9-point lead.
In 3 minutes, to say in 3 minutes, got out quick. Great start by Chapmanville, not struggling to get on the scoreboard yet.
And this is the largest lead of the game in any of the 3 games so far here tonight. In 7 points was the largest lead in the middle school game. 6 points was the largest lead in the JV game. And right away, Cox brings it back down to a 6-point margin.
And Cox says, I want to keep it that way. I don't want these big leads. I want to cut into it with a 3 of my own.
It is. It's surprising. 3 games, you haven't seen a double-digit lead yet on either side. That's how close these two teams have been. And what a take by Benji as he roams his way to the rim.
Benji Aggin's so versatile. He's a big guy, big strong guy underneath, has great touch, but he has that ball handling ability to, as well, take people off the dribble.
And Chapmanville really coming out in attack mode here in these early minutes. They lead at 13-8. Cross court, Starcher, 3 from the left corner. That went off the mark, and Dalton grabs the board.
Nice rebound by Dakota Dalton. Gets it out here to Hovanak to see what they can do on offense.
Yeah, Hovanak went flying into the locker room there trying to come up with that block a moment ago, able to get back into play. Atkins up top. Being guarded closely, trying to drive in. Spins back to the middle. Great take, but couldn't finish at the rim. Now up ahead, Brown passed a little bit behind and out of bounds, and it'll go back to Chapmanville's. Dalton fell a little awkwardly that time, gets up a little bit hobbled.
Nice play by Dalton there to deflect it and in turn deflect off the Expression Prep player, which gives the ball back to Chapmanville. And active hands, we always see them no matter if it's middle school, JV, or varsity. We've seen active hands by all the Tigers tonight.
Now Kai Martin into the lineup for Jay Brock, getting his first look tonight as Hovanak feeds it over on the right block. Martin goes up in front of the rim, can't get it, gets his own rebound back, can't finish, rebound tipped around, and Starcher comes away with it.
Starcher finally able to get away from Martin. He showed his quick second jump ability there, unable to complete the shot, but Expression Prep looking to get something going.
Corner, Cox being harassed, double teamed, fell out of bounds, but got rid of it at the last second. He's able to hit his man at the top of the key. It's B.J. McCree into the game.
Like any team on the road, they got to weather this early storm by Chapmanville, and how they do that could have the results pending on the other end of this game.
McCree will kick it back out for Cox. Cox trying to find an opening. Instead, he'll bring it back out. Cox now drives in, runs into Dalton, and a blocking foul going to be called on Dakota.
A lot of contact there. Dakota doesn't agree with the call there. Nice physical defense. Expression Prep presses the issue a bit. Whistle blown. Foul goes against Dalton.
That'll get Tate up off the bench. He was stellar in the JV game, had 15 points and was a menace on the inside.
Yeah, came out in the third quarter and took over that game, Chris, before he exited in the fourth to get ready for varsity action.
And now for Chapmanville, you get Jacob Vance into the game for the first time. Jay Brock in as Dalton, and Smith will go to get a breather. So McCree crosses the timeline. Brock all over him. They'll swing it over for Starcher. Starcher trying to get by Martin. Martin cuts him off the baseline and may have hacked him on the way to the basket that time, as that'll be the first on him.
Yeah, a lot of contact there across the forearms. He cut the baseline off, but a little bit overzealous, a little bit on the defense. So out of bounds foul, take out here by the Expression Prep.
McCree wide open on the backside was Cox as somebody got lost that time for Chapmanville, an easy two.
You don't see that too often, Chris, on the inbounds play going up against the Tigers. Somebody fell asleep, missed their assignment, resulted in the easiest bucket of the night.
Inside they go to Martin on the right block, tried to go up against Tate, and Tate forces the miss.
Tate shows what a defensive presence he is immediately upon entering this game.
Cox, tough baseline jumper, somehow found the angle and gets it to go.
Very tough shot there by Cox on the baseline. He got in the air and hung long enough to get that shot off when Benji Atkins coming in for the block.
He's got 7 of the 9 points now this evening for Expression Prep. He's in the corner, Brock brings it back out. Atkins out near midcourt. Gives it back to Brock at the free throw line. Pull up jumper and Jay Brock buries it.
The high rising jump shot by Jay Brock right at the foul line. He came across, no defense at all, getting any resistance, knocks it down easily.
That's 4 points for him here in the opening quarter. Lead back to 6 for the Tigers. Starcher cross-court pass, able to save it over to Cox. Good recovery that time by Brock and intercepted by Havenack.
Nice play by Havenack, anticipation.
Now Martin waits on the cavalry across half court. Benji takes it to his left. Havenack trying to be the facilitator, gives it over for Atkins in the left corner. And Chapmanville kind of taking their time here. It's been breakneck pace so far. Now Brock will try a 3. That one online, but too strong. Martin grabs the board though, goes up, and then he's called for a double dribble.
Kai Martin skied for that rebound, but turns it over, and you're right, Chapmanville's very patient on that possession.
You're going to get Smith and Dalton back into the game as Havenack and Atkins will go to the bench. Probably the remainder of this quarter with 1 minute exactly left.
After that hot start by the Tigers, if Expression Prep can finish this first quarter off down 2 possessions, will be a mental victory for them.
That's kind of what they did against Logan. They just kept hanging around in the game until they got their opportunity in the second half. And now going to be a foul on the inside here against Chapmanville as Cox got bumped. And they're going to whistle that one against Martin.
Yeah, I didn't see that foul initially. I was looking at that pass going in. But nonetheless, Martin and Benji Atkins takes a seat on the bench.
Yeah, that's going to be foul number 2 on Martin. So he'll definitely go to the bench, and David Browning, who had a good JV game with 12 points, checks in.
Yeah, we see the matchup between Browning and Tate. We saw that in the JV action. Here they are guarding each other again.
Yeah, I'm about to say they got very familiar with each other in the JV game.
Very much so. It was back and forth, play after play.
Cox waiting, gets double team, tough pass. Starcher though gets it, drives in, a lot of contact, blocking foul, and one as Starcher crashes hard to the deck.
Starcher takes a hard hit. Jacob Vance trying to get into position to draw that charge, but the officials think it came a little bit late there.
Thankfully, Starcher able to get up after that as Vance comes over and tells him he's glad he's okay. There wasn't any ill will on that. He was just trying to take the charge, but it doesn't seem like a call that the officials are going to be willing to give a whole lot here tonight.
No, going to have to be set quite very, very early, it seems like, Chris.
Now a chance to cut this back to a 1-possession lead as Starcher, 4 points here in the quarter, make it 5. That's first free throw of the evening for Expression Prep, 15-12 Chapmanville. Dalton skips across court for Atkins, back out for Brock. We're down to 15 seconds. Chapmanville going to try and hold for one here.
I see Coach Napper trying to get him to pull it out a bit. I don't know if they saw his call or not.
And Smith trying to get away, gives it over to Dalton. Dalton fakes, drives it to the baseline, jumper up and in for Dakota Dalton.
Nice shot for Dakota Dalton, turned down that 3, got to that mid-range.
Cox will heave at the horn, no good, off to the left, and that'll do it for the first quarter as Chapmanville leads Huntington Expression Prep 17-12 as we head to quarter number 2. Back after this as you're watching high school basketball action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Game day energy is in the air. The crowd's roaring, the players are locked in, and every moment feels electric. Bring that same fire home with Smell My Tarts. Bold, handcrafted scents that keep your spirit pumped long after the buzzer. Smell My Tarts, where team pride meets amazing fragrance.
17-12 as we start quarter number 2. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams here with J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. I want to thank our second quarter sponsor, the Aracoma Story, coming your way again. Again, the Aracoma Story helping sponsor tonight's action as well. We're going to have to get JJ down there, maybe have him take a look at that. Apparently he doesn't know what the Aracoma Story is.
He needs to go through a couple shows, and he needs to get involved. Yeah, we won't get on that topic. You got him good enough during the break. So.
Yeah, I did. That's my moment of harassment since I know what it's about, and I figure I'd just give it to him after that. But yeah, we'll have to take JJ for a little night out on the town, watch a play together. After the turnover, Chapmanville goes inside, but Vance going to be called for a travel, so both teams turn it over on their first possessions of the second quarter.
Want to see the coaches' adjustments from the first quarter to the second quarter. Doesn't a lot of time to fill each team out, see how things are going, and see how each coach can adjust off of that.
Caden West with it in the middle, gives it off to McCree. Over far side, Cox going to pull from deep, on line all the way, but too strong. Long rebound in the corner, and Vance tears it away. Up ahead for Dalton, one-on-one with McCree, spins into the middle, can't get it to go as he crashes down. Dalton trying to get it back, and he'll force a tie-up.
Tried to go to spin towards the lane, and Tate, once again, he does a great job of staying vertical and not fouling some of these guys attacking the rim.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, he did that very well in the JV game as well. Again, he just allows his size to really do the work for him down there and his height. And it's just a tough presence to want to attack on the inside. To get it into Vance, he bobbled it, got it back, and now reach-in foul goes against Prep.
Yeah, he had an opportunity, but he bobbled the pass, but he got the foul here on the sideline, so Chapmanville side out.
So call that foul on Brown. That'll be his first. Vance will take the inbound in the backcourt, lobs it back to Dalton. Dalton shovels it over for Smith, gets it to fall in. Looked like that may have been deflected a little bit, but Smith gets it to fall.
Nice pass there by Dakota Dalton. He saw Smith flash to the middle, got like a little cup pass there. He had it cupped and he slung it to the middle, right on target, and Eli Smith finishes the play.
19-12 now, Chapmanville in the lead, into the corner for West. He'll go for three. That one rolls off. Starcher gets the rebound, and he'll be fouled on the way back up.
Nice work by Starcher, getting that offensive glass, and once again, Expression Prep unable to knock down the open corner three, and Chapmanville should be counting the lucky stars on a couple of those because they've given up wide open threes from the corner.
And that's going to be the second foul on Dalton now, so you've got Martin with 2 fouls and Dalton with 2 fouls now for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think Dalton might be pleading his case a little bit to stay in the game. You definitely don't want to see foul trouble from your floor general.
Starcher able to connect on the first. He's got 6 points, make it 7 as he gets the second one to roll through.
He's a great all-around player, Chris. Does a little bit of everything, plays the right way. Very valuable player for Expression Prep.
19-14 Chapmanville as Brock tried to take a baseline, took a little bump instead.
Brock has such a fast first step, and he gets that baseline, draws the foul. We see that quickness all the time on defense. That time there, we saw it on the offensive side.
Chapmanville inbound underneath as they get that foul on Caden West, his first. So inbounded underneath into a lot of traffic as Smith tried to get it away, but instead he gets tied up, and I'll give it back to Prep.
Quick jump ball call there. Ball goes back to Expression Prep.
6:32 to go before halftime. And a little bit of a slow-moving start to this second quarter. We've had turnovers and tie-ups. Starcher, the only one to provide offense along with Smith and both departments for both teams. Starcher on the wing, tries to drive in on Atkins. Once again, a tough angle, but couldn't get it to fall this time.
Very tough angle. Nice defense by Benji. Up ahead to Eli Smith.
Oh, alley-oop for Smith, couldn't get it. And Vance, what a play by him. Somehow able to save it and throw it off of Prep and keep the possession for Chapman.
Great play by Jacob Vance, not giving up on the play. He sees his opportunity to grab that ball, jumps before his toe, hits the baseline, and throws it off the Expression Prep player, which allowed Chapmanville to keep it. Nice hustle play.
Now Vance will inbound underneath. Looking, gets it over to the corner for Dalton. He'll lob it back cross court. Smith finds Brock. Brock takes it baseline, pull-up jumper, and a whistle and a foul on Starcher.
Nice. Once again, that quick first step by Jay Brock, getting in his shooting motion. He's such a high rise. You can see that, which it makes it tough to contest his shot. And once again, goes to the line.
That's big because that's number 2 on Starcher now, and he and Cox have been the only offense thus far for Expression Prep as Brock knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose either of those guys, and just like at the same time Starcher comes out, Dakota Dalton comes out too, so 2 big playmakers on the bench right now for each team.
Brock's second free throw up, and Chapmanville, talk about their free throw woes, they're 5 of 6 now out of the gate here tonight. They've made their last 5. Pass tipped on the inbounds, but it finds West. He'll bring it across the timeline over to McCree. He's got Smith on him out front. McCree probing, gives it off into the corner for West. Spin move inside, gets to the right block, can't put it in. Tries to get it back and has it poked away out of bounds.
Thought he was going to make that shot there. You see a couple different actions out on that trip by their Expression Prep. I saw a down screen along the baseline, and at the same time a screen up top by Tate with him rolling to the middle.
Inbound underneath their own basket. McCree will lob it in deep for Frazier. He'll line up a 3. This one going to be short, an air ball in fact, and somehow Tate saved it, but it goes to Brock. Now here he comes out of the fray, driving into 3 men, pull-up jumper, can't get it to fall as Frazier grabs the board. So again, good take by Brock that time, almost able to outrun everybody to the rim.
Yeah, he can make up time very, very quickly.
Brown, bring it back over to the left side, trying to penetrate in on Smith, cut off at the left. So get it back out to McCree.
You see Hovanak shading him left.
McCree gets back to his right side. Takes on a pull-up, gives it off Tate. Goes down low, we get a whistle and a travel call as Benji pulled the chair out from under him that time, and Tate took a couple extra steps.
Yeah, felt the body when Benji pulled away. He shuffled his feet. Nice call there.
And that's tough when you're looking for that contact and you just lean back and it's not there. It's like a trust exercise almost. You realize you can't trust Benji Atkins on that.
You can't trust the guy in the other jersey.
Now Brad Napper wants a timeout here with 4:44 to go in the first half as he and Hovanak talking it out as what was going on during that pressure, as it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here. And just a reminder, this game brought to you in part by Global Arc Ministry, Trend Services, Domino Printing, White Eye Care, Rebound Physical Therapy, Smell My Tarts, PT12 Pizza, Stereo Video Unlimited, Blessings and Blooms, and the Aracoma story coming your way again this year. So again, here in the first about 12 minutes of action, Dwayne. Again, Chapmanville's been able to get out, run a lot here in this first half. Second quarter, things have kind of slowed down a little bit, turned into more of a defensive battle, but foul trouble's been a bit of an issue on both sides.
Yeah, you're going to see coaching strategy come more into play as this game goes along. Chapmanville started off the game quick, came out very, very hot. Now, like you said, it's slowing down a bit. So we're going to see what wrinkles each coach introduces, and I'm looking forward to this coaching matchup. It's a very good one. These teams are very, very similar, very evenly matched.
Down underneath, Hovanak will lob it in. Back over to Martin on the baseline. Martin cut off. He's double teamed, looking for help. Gives it to Smith. Pull up jumper, won't fall. There's Brock crashing the glass, able to tip it over to Hovanak. Hovanak now gets it back to Smith at the top of the key. Back to Benji. Looks inside for Smith. He'll kick it out. Good ball movement here by Chapmanville. It's Brock back over to Hovanak. He'll line up a 3 from the left corner. No good, and rebounded by West.
Like you said, amazing ball movement. It did result in an open look, but unable to knock it down. And on that possession, you just see an example of Eli Smith everywhere. He's cutting to the middle, giving people opportunities to give him the pass. He's crashing the board, so a lot of action there on the offensive end by Eli Smith.
We hit the midway point of quarter number 2. 21-14, Chapmanville leads it. Brown over to McCree on the right side, dumps it down low. Great adjustment by Benji, able to get over and intercept it. Now up ahead to Brock. He's cut off, and he'll wisely bring it back. Gives it off to Hovanak. Little jumper inside the free throw line, won't fall.
Nice anticipation on the defensive end by Benji Atkins to stop that post pass into Tate.
Cox waiting, penetrates. Nice spin move to the left side, and he'll finish.
Nice spin, and I'm going to age myself there. That looked like a very John Stockton type play, Chris. He spun, he got it up, Cox is such a fun player to watch.
I don't like talking about it as if it was 40, 50 years ago, but I'm like, wow, it was about 30, 40 years ago. It's out front, Brock. Look like he took a little bit of a hit that time. This pass was coming back to him.
It's like Dakota Dalton set to come back in.
So that'll be the 4th team foul now against Expression Prep. So Chapmanville will be shooting free throws the rest of the half as McCree called for that foul.
Yeah, that's been the outlier of these 3 games. The other games didn't see many fouls. This one's getting to the point right now.
Smith pulls on a 3, hits the rim twice, but falls off, and Benji there to clean it up right around the rim again.
Sometimes you get the fortunate bounce at home, and that time it was. It came off a little unorthodox to that last little kiss off the rim. Tate unable to grab it. Benji Atkins was able to.
7 points for him now, and another blocking foul going to be called as Smith came over a little late, and that'll send Brown to the free throw line.
Yeah, he was late. I don't think his feet was even on the ground when they made contact. He flew in there just a moment too late, but you got to applaud the effort there to lay your body on the line.
Yeah, and like I said, even though Chapmanville hasn't gotten that call yet, and I feel like they've made the right call each time on those block or charge calls, you're at least putting it in Expression Prep's head that, hey, you know, they might be there at the rim. We might have to hesitate, and it can cause some problems around the rim for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. Look, even if you don't get the call, it still plants that seed of doubt.
Brown missed on the first. Second one won't fall either. Good box out by Martin. Now Chapmanville looking to capitalize off of those misses as Brock gets into the middle. Pass over to Smith, gets away, but Tate couldn't control it, and it'll stay with Chapmanville.
That was a nice job by Tate to get his hands up there on that no-look pass by Brock. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to hold on to it, so the ball stays with the Tigers.
2:40 left here in this first half. Chapmanville, largest lead was 9 points here in the first half. Dalton out front for Brock. Back over, Atkins intercepts it from Dalton. He'll bring it back out front. Trying to uncluster the offense right now. Now to Dalton in the left corner. High arching 3, won't bounce in and taken by Cox.
Nice rebound underneath by Cox. He's done a little bit of everything this game.
Cox steps back. Gives it back to Brown. Brown to the right elbow, pull-up jumper, and this time he will hit from the free throw line.
Nice patience there to pull that back and knock that shot down.
Again, Expression Prep hanging around here in this first half as Chapmanville's held the lead the entire way. But Prep's right within striking distance, and now a chance to get it to one possession off that steal. It's Brown on the right side, and Benji Atkins rips it away from him.
Nice job by Atkins up ahead to Dakota Dalton.
Dalton in the left corner, laser pass inside. Couldn't handle it with Smith, but there's Kai Martin there to clean it up.
Fortunate bounce for the Tigers once again. Eli Smith does a great job of flashing to the middle to try to get that pass from Dalton. It's deflected and ends up in the hands of Martin.
25-18 Chapmanville. It's Jaden Castillo into the game. Castillo, he was player of the game in the JV contest with 17 points. That ball poked away. Brock goes diving for it and almost comes up with it.
Brock is all energy all the time. Want to give a shout out to Letitia Hovanak watching from Ashland. Give a shout out to Juanita Roberts who's watching from Princeton, West Virginia. So we got people watching from Ashland, Kentucky all the way down to the southern part of West Virginia at the moment.
And so again, like and share this page. Share it with everyone out there. And like we said, we are an interactive broadcast, so make sure you comment. Tell us where you're watching from here tonight. Frazier on the right side, takes it to the baseline, tries to thread the needle inside to Tate, got it to him. Now we'll get a whistle and a tie-up call, as that may have been Browning that got his hands on it.
Not only is Tate having to deal with David Browning, it's kind of a scary sight when Benji Atkins comes in to form that double team.
That's what I said. There's so many big bodies Chapmanville can go to on the inside. It's tough to try and figure out who you'd like to see down there.
But it allows them to play a little bit tougher because foul trouble wouldn't be an option when you have a lot of help down low.
That's what I was thinking too. Again, you really give yourself a license to play a lot more aggressively on the inside as well when you got those many options. Atkins barrels his way inside and Benji banks it home.
What a strong take by Benji Atkins through traffic, absorbing the contact and finishing nicely. Now they're up to a 9-point lead, Chris.
And that's 9 points for the game for Atkins as he leads the way for Chapmanville. Frazier into the corner. West will line up a 3. That one no good. Rebound tip. Browning tries to save it, able to do so. Now here comes Smith up ahead. Brock gets behind the defense, goes up and lays it in.
Nice adjustment in midair by Jay Brock. It helps to have that type of vertical to do that kind of stuff. Gives Chapmanville 11-point lead.
And this is the first double-digit lead of any of the 3 games here tonight. As McCree with 13 seconds left looking, gives it off to Castillo.
You can see Coach Napper there coaching hard defense. Sorry about step on you there, Chris.
No, you're good. Again, Napper trying to prevent this late chance here for Prep as that one kicked away by Benji with 3.5 seconds to go. Now he's going to get Hovanak back on the floor, and again, Dalton with those 2 fouls will go to the bench trying to preserve him. So McCree will inbound here. They've got to go quick as they get it into Frazier, had it knocked away. As here's his heave from Smith at the horn, going to come up short. And Chapmanville with tough defense, only allowing 6 points in the second quarter, shutting down Expression Prep, and they lead at 29-18 going into halftime. Dwayne and I will step aside for a break and come back with some stats and analysis right after this as you're watching high school basketball action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
29-18, Chapmanville leads it here at halftime. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. We'd like to thank our sponsors again here tonight, helping us bring you this action. Again, Global Art Ministry, Trend Services, Domino Printing, White Eye Care, Rebound Physical Therapy, Smell My Tarts, PT12 Pizza, Stereo Video Unlimited, Blessings and Blooms, and the Aracoma story coming your way later on this year as you take a look at the first half scoring. Pretty short list for Expression Prep. Michael Cox led the way with 9 points, Alex Starcher with 7, and Mark Brown 2, and that ends the scoring for Expression Prep. On the Chapmanville side, Benji Atkins leading the way with 9 points, Jay Brock with 8, Dakota Dalton and Eli Smith with 5 points, and Kai Martin with 2 points to round out the scoring. And one thing that Expression Prep's really had trouble doing is just putting the ball in the basket, but Chapmanville's defense has been a huge part of that, Dwayne. Yeah, that's what's led to that inability to score in the second quarter, because Chapmanville is just relentless on defense. When they go with certain lineups, there's no drop off, there's no disadvantage to them whatsoever. They play great help defense, they pressure the ball, their hands in the passing lanes, and we saw them when they noticed that Expression Prep wanted to work that ball into Tate. They doubled him immediately because they probably saw what he did in the JV game, got some turnovers. But the Chapmanville defense is what led to this 11-point lead, which, like you mentioned earlier, the biggest lead of all 3 of these games so far. Yeah, again, Chapmanville's gone about 8 or 9 deep here in this first half, and Prep's been able to go a little deep as well, but they haven't been able to sustain their depth the way that Chapmanville's been able to here in the first half. So, again, if Chapmanville's defense can stay as ferocious as it was in the first half, I think it's going to be pretty tough ask to have Mitchell Cox try and carry this offense like he did against Logan, where they came back and won that game. Yeah, you're right, Chris. You got to wonder how that the perceived lack of depth, what it's going to do as this game goes on. Even if you do have depth, when you have this type of defense constantly weighing on you, pressuring you, getting you out of your rhythm, it takes a toll on you over time. And we'll see how things start here to open this third quarter. It'll be Expression Prep ball to get things started. Again, they've won both games so far here tonight, winning by 2 over Chapmanville Middle School in the middle school game, winning by 2 in the junior varsity game, both of those coming down to missed threes right at the buzzer on Chapmanville's side. Now the Tigers looking to turn the tables here in this varsity game. The varsity's looking to avoid the clean sweep, and that Expression Prep, they want that sweep. They want to come into Logan County and leave with 3 wins. They give it over far side for Brown, back out front to Cox. Back to Brown. Again, Chapmanville trying to extend here a little bit more. Brown having trouble trying to find something on the inside. Now they go down low to Starcher. Starcher backs in on Dalton with those 2 fouls, can't finish. Tipped by Cox, won't go. Now the ball knocked loose and Dalton comes away with it. Dalton, look ahead. Oh, and just intercepted by West. As they get it over to Cox, now to Starcher, and he'll lay it in on the left side. There's that combo we talked about. Cox and Starcher still doing it for Expression Prep. On the board first in the second half. Ty Starcher for the team lead now with 9 points. It's back to single digits on the scoreboard as it's a 9-point game, and now you're going to get a foul on Castillo. A little bit over aggressive on top. That's a great matchup between he and Hovenack. You see him dab it up there a bit to say all things are good, just good competitive basketball right there. And we saw the defense was very tight in the JV game. It's been that way here in varsity as well. Dalton, top of the key, swings it over for Brock. Brock, nice fake, takes it left baseline, can't finish. Dalton grabs the rebound though, feeds it back over to Brock, goes up on the right side, and Jay Brock will finish it. Nice work there by Dakota Dalton, get on the offensive glass, a nice bounce pass over to Brock, and he finishes. Starcher tried to feed one in and got it intercepted by Smith. Back over to Hovenack, he waits, gives it out front for Adkins. Benji gives it back to Hovenack, now to Brock. Brock at the top of the key, stops, feeds it down low to Atkins, backs his way in, and Benji will finish on the right block. Such a crafty move there by Benji Atkins. He felt the double team. He faked that pass out to the wing to get that double team to respect that, and he gets a one-on-one matchup, and most times he can take advantage of that. And he's got 11 points now for the game to lead Chapmanville. He and Carter, he and Brock are both right there with each other right now for the team lead as Castillo knocks down a huge three.
But still, Johnny on the spot, nice deflection, but it gets right up in his hands. He's able to catch that in rhythm and hit a big-time three, perfectly timed for Expression Prep.
He said he led the way in the JV contest with 17 points. Big one there. Dalton looks to answer it. That one too strong. Smith trying to chase it down, saves it as he goes into the stands, but it goes to Cox.
Nice hustle, but Expression Prep has numbers.
West feeds it over to Castillo. Now back to Cox. Three on the way. This one too strong. Brock skies for the rebound. Here he comes into the front court. He'll circle around as Expression Prep able to get back. Now back to Brock on the baseline. Gets inside, feeds it underneath to Smith, goes up, and he'll lay it in.
Nice ball movement by the Tigers in an early timeout here by Expression Prep.
5:20 to go here in the third quarter. It'll be a full timeout for Expression Prep. We'll do the same as Chapmanville leads it by 12. You're watching high school basketball action with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Getting ready for sports means protecting those eyes. Up to 90% of sport-related eye injuries can be prevented with proper eye protection. White Eye Care knows this and is committed to providing the best protective sportswear for your child's eyes. As a proud sponsor of our community sports programs, we want to see our kids protected, from the little ones up to the big leagues. Our huge selection of eyewear makes finding that perfect pair easy. So win big this season. Call White Eye Care in Logan for an appointment today.
Game day energy is in the air. The crowd's roaring, the players are locked in, and every moment feels electric. Bring that same fire home with Smell My Tarts. Bold, handcrafted scents that keep your spirit pumped long after the buzzer. Smell My Tarts, where team pride meets amazing fragrance.
Tigers have opened up a 12-point lead here in the third quarter over Huntington Expression Prep. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams with you, J.J. Pruitt with us as well. As Expression Prep has been unable to make any sort of a dent in that lead, and it's been largely in part due to Chapmanville's attacking nature on the offensive side.
This has been like a mirror image of how Chapmanville started the game. They come out hot, and they come out in the second half trying to reestablish firm control of this game.
Right now, this is the danger part of the game. If you're Expression Prep, it could get away from you in a hurry here if Chapmanville's able to go on a little bit of a spurt. Starcher forces his way in and going to draw a foul here.
With Chapmanville's ability on offense to score combined with their defense, you can't, like you said, you can't let this get away because it's such an uphill battle to get back into a game versus them.
That's what I said. I mean, a 12-point deficit against Chapmanville with their defense just feels a lot larger than it does against other teams.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Get it into Frazier. He'll drive in, and he'll be hit from behind as let's see if they get this on Dalton or Hovanak, and that's going to be 3 on Dalton.
Frazier, we saw him. This kid is an 8th grader. We saw him put on a show in the middle school matchup. Like we talked about, we don't know what rankings, but he's ranked somewhere as the number 1 8th grader in the state and ranked nationally as well.
He had 21 points in that middle school game earlier tonight, which carried the load for Expression Prep in that 2-point win. He gets his first point here in the varsity game.
We saw him play a few weeks ago, and it did not seem like high school varsity was too much for him.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you can notice his size is a little bit smaller in varsity as opposed to the middle school portion, but his game is still right there.
Translates very nicely.
He's able to hit both free throws to bring it back to a 10-point game. Adkins dribbles to the center. Hands it off to Hovanak. He'll swing it over for Brock. Brock surveying in the middle, gives it back over to Hovanak. Back out front, Brock tried to fit one in to Martin, had it knocked away.
Very tough to fit that pass in from that distance.
Now into the corner, Castillo, big three if he can get it, but too strong, and there's Brock on the backside with the rebound. He'll take it in, cut off, gives it back to Dalton. He'll soar in, and he'll put it in. No, they call a charge on Dalton, and that's going to be 4 on him.
They wave that off, unfortunately for Dakota Dalton. Like you say, his 4th foul. That could be big for this Chapmanville team. He doesn't like it at all. Jay Brock left it off to him nicely, but the defender gets right in there and draws the charge.
And again, tough time for the first charge of the night to be called.
Yeah, you got to wonder about that one, Chris, because the way they've called it earlier in the game, you wouldn't have thought that one would have been called as well.
Now Dalton will be on the bench for an extended amount of time here with 4 fouls. We're only about halfway through this third quarter. Brown gets inside, takes it to the left, and he'll put it in.
Question is, how can Expression Prep take advantage of Dalton being out? We'll probably see Benji Atkins with the ball more. So this is time for someone else to step up for the Tigers.
There's a good take by Smith as he forced his way in, and he'll draw the foul.
And right on cue, Eli Smith forces the issue, has a step. He can score from many different angles. He can go right-handed or left-handed. Now gets a chance to knock some free throws down.
While we have a moment, just like to thank our sponsors again here tonight. Global Arc Ministry, Trend Services, Domino Printing, Wide Eye Care, Rebound Physical Therapy, Smell My Tarts, PT12 Pizza, Stereo Video Unlimited, Blessings and Blooms, and the Aracoma Story, helping us bring you tonight's action here from Danny Gobby Gymnasium. Smith able to convert on the first free throw. Second free throw good as well, in the lead back up to 10. 37-27 as Chapmanville puts on pressure in the backcourt. Frazier swings it over to Castillo, down to the middle to Starcher. He gets a good lane to the basket, and he'll put in the floater.
Nice floater by Starcher. Good job by Expression Prep to break the press there, and they finish it with a nice bucket.
He's in the double figures now with 11 points to lead back down to 8. Brock penetrates in, kicks it over to Havenack, now top of the key, over to Martin. Martin barrels his way into the paint, kicks it over for Brock, left corner three, this one off the back rim, but Atkins saves the possession.
Nice rebound by Benji Atkins to give him a second chance opportunity.
Kicks it out for Smith. 3:15 to go here in the third. Now to Martin down low. We get a whistle as bodies bump, and going to get a push here on West. So that'll bring Tate back into the lineup as West picks up his second foul.
Every time they've brought Tate in the lineup, whether it's been the JV game or this game, they tend to look for him in the post pretty quickly.
It'll be Havenack to inbound. So get it out deep for Smith at the top of the key. Drives in on the right side. Smith with another great take as he finishes.
Nice jump stop there by Eli Smith. Such a well-rounded offensive player, and there's another example.
And I'll tell you what, he's got 11 tonight as well. He's one that's really snuck up there without a whole lot of notice now that he's got 11. You got him with 11, Atkins with 11, and Jay Brock with 10.
Yeah, you're right. That's very, very sneaky. I've complimented him on his ability on the offensive end of just flashing, giving people targets. It's doing little stuff, and it's turned into a lot of points.
Now 3 minutes to go in the third. 10-point lead for Chapmanville. Brown gives it off to Tate, kicks it back out to Starcher. Starcher with Havenack all over him, able to knock down the three.
What a smooth shot there by Starcher between the legs, step back for the three. They won't go away, Chris. They don't let it get out of hand. Now it's cut down to 7.
He's got 14 for the game now. He's got 7 this quarter to Starcher. Back over to Smith, looks to answer again. This time won't fall, but a rebound on the backside by Havenack. Back to Smith, and he'll lay it in.
Once again, he flashes to the area where he needs to be all the time. Just great movement without the ball, and once again scores.
Eli Smith, great third quarter here. He's got 8 this period altogether. Jumper from Frazier too strong. He knocks it away from Martin, but it'll be out of bounds off of Frazier.
We said someone that will have to step up in the absence of Dakota Dalton. Eli Smith has done that immediately.
Again, that's been a great spurt here for Eli Smith. As Jacob Vance comes off the bench now. As Brock will get a breather. Looked like Castillo wanted some help in the backcourt, but didn't get it. Atkins will bring it up without any contest. We have 2 minutes to play here in the third period. Atkins will bring it up top. And like we said, it's been physical back and forth defense on both sides. You're starting to see maybe some of the gears grinding down here on both sides. They both took a second to breathe as Martin takes a three too strong, and Smith with the board.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. You see it's taking a bit of a toll as who can outlast each other at this point, because it's still anybody's game with a minute and a half left in the third.
Yeah, this turned into a war of attrition almost on both sides as that ball kicked away. So it'll stay here with Chapmanville.
Expression Prep's going to have somebody else step up at some point in this game, I feel, for them to pull off this victory.
Get it in. Yeah, I agree right now. Again, you've had Starcher step up here in the third quarter. Cox hasn't been able to get going at all here in this third quarter, but they've been able to stay afloat even without Cox being able to produce yet here in this period. As Martin, good take, tried to feed it back to Smith, but too tall for him.
Yeah, you saw Coach Napper telling him to shoot that ball. He got to the middle. A bit of too much unselfishness there, because with his jumping ability, he could easily got up and had a nice look there from the paint.
A minute 18 left here in this third quarter. 9-point lead. Chapmanville's led by as much as 13. As they've led wire to wire so far in this contest. Castillo gets it out front for Brown. He finds a little crease, takes it down the left side, and Brown able to finish.
Nice take by Brown. Great job of changing pace. Gets to the bucket and finishes. Keeps his lead at 7.
That's 6 points now in the evening for him as Smith tries to get between two defenders and loses it. Cox over to West, drives in on Atkins, and he'll lay it in.
Nice fast break bucket there by Expression Prep. They refuse to go away, Chris, now only down by 5.
Again, they were down by 13 this quarter, and they've cut it down to 5 as Atkins able to draw the foul on Brown crossing midcourt, and that's going to be 4 team fouls against both sides.
With Atkins' size and strength, he can afford to be so patient, doesn't have to hurry, because he can absorb so much contact and never lose control of the ball.
Hovanak will inbound. We'll see if Chapmanville tries to hold for one here. They get it into Atkins. Said Dalton on the bench with those 4 fouls right now. Atkins gives it over for Vance into the corner for Smith. Smith dribbles back to the baseline, found a little opening, and he'll be fouled at the rim.
You saw the attention by the defense. By the time he left his feet, he had 3 defenders in his area going up. He doesn't get the bucket. You see him fired up, smacking the floor, but he's going to go to the free throw line and trying to extend this lead with 18 seconds left in the third.
And that's what's been so impressive, I think, on the defensive side tonight. Again, both teams have recovered so well. Anytime it looks like there was an easy opening, it's just been shut down.
Yeah, that's a great point. They definitely mirrored each other in that aspect, because it's almost like for a split moment, the offensive player thinks, I got a layup out of nowhere. The opposite color jersey comes in.
So now Brock will check back in here for Martin. Hovanak in. Atkins will go to the bench for the final 18.2. Smith off the mark on the first attempt. Trying to make it a 6-point game again. This one is good. So again, big quarter by Smith. He had 9 points altogether this quarter, 14 now to lead the way for the game for Chapmanville.
Yeah, he stepped up in such a huge way. And even with him stepping up, Expression Prep is still into striking distance here, only down 6.
Brad Napper coming out to do the Lord's work as he's getting everything cleaned up underneath the basket.
Yeah, we saw him cleaning up the bench area during the JV. He's been a busy man tonight.
That's what I told somebody. I said, even after we won states in tennis, I said, you get humbled pretty quick, because you go back to just cleaning up the area, cleaning up the locker room, cleaning up it's like, yeah, you're not that big of a deal yet. So.
The beauty of high school coaching.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it was like the same day we came back from states after we had won the state championship. They had tried to redo our floor, our tennis courts, which was an apocalypse to say the least.
Absolutely.
And I had a parent telling me these look terrible, and we had literally just won the state championship like 40 hours earlier, and then I had to go and inspect the courts and see how bad it was, and I just looked at it and said, you know what, I don't even care. It's like, this is going to be next week's problem.
Can't you just let me enjoy this?
I was like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm not going to think about this right now. This will be next week's problem.
That's a good mindset to have.
As Expression Prep calls for time here with 10.6 seconds to go in the third quarter. As they have done a great job of fighting back here, and it looked like Chapmanville had a chance to maybe put a nail in their coffin in this third quarter, and all of a sudden we're back to another tight game, which is where we've been all evening long.
Yeah, we're looking at a fantastic triple header we've had here tonight for everybody. Appreciate everybody tuning in on a Tuesday, starting in late afternoon into the evening, now the nightcap.
Final look here in the final 10 seconds of the quarter as Cox has been held scoreless this period, gives it over to West. West gets it back to Cox. He'll force up a 3. That one's going to be well off the mark, and time will run out before it gets out of bounds. And Chapmanville holds a 6-point lead as we head to the final 8 minutes. Back after this as you're watching high school basketball action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Doming Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes. If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
Here from Danny Gobby Gymnasium, Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams here, J.J. Pruitt alongside us as well, as it's been a fun afternoon and evening of basketball between these two schools. And now here in the nightcap, Chapmanville trying to come away with a varsity win after Expression Prep won the middle school and JV games each by 2 points. Tigers had the ball to start the fourth. Dalton still on the bench with those 4 fouls for Chapmanville.
You got to see what the game dictates of when Coach Napper brings Dakota Dalton back in.
Oh, a great feed down to Benji Atkins. They let the big man go to work, and he's got 13.
Seems like when they need a bucket, they know where to go, Chris, because it's a very high percentage outcome when Benji Atkins gets the ball in the post.
Back to an 8-point lead now for Chapmanville. Starcher takes it baseline, kicks it out to Brown. He'll step into a 3, all the way off the mark, and rebounded by Smith.
Nice battle there by Eli Smith to get that defensive rebound.
Browning gets up ahead, tried to slam on the brakes, but ended up carrying his pivot foot, and that'll be a travel.
We talked about it all game about how Expression Prep has to keep this game into striking distance. It's never been more true here than the fourth quarter. They can't have too many turnovers or wasted possessions, and when they get that rare open look, they got to knock down the shot.
Archer gives it over for Cox along the left baseline. Starcher had a big third quarter to help carry the offense. He'll take it in, gives it over for Brown. Brown steps back, gives it back to Starcher, goes for 3, but this one's going to be short, and a strong rebound by Smith.
Another rebound by Eli Smith. He's had a fantastic second half here tonight.
He has. He's really been someone that really kicked it into gear whenever they needed it, as Brock throws it away. Miscommunication that time between he and maybe Smith.
Coach Napper's seen too many turnovers. He gets another ball handler back on the court with Hovanek coming back in.
6:44 to go here in the fourth. Chapmanville with the only 2 points thus far. Starcher will get it up ahead to McCree. And if Expression Prep's going to make a move, it's going to have to be before the 3-minute mark, you feel. If this can stay between 8 and 10 by then, you have to feel good if you're Chapmanville, but there's Cox slicing to the basket for 2.
When they need a big bucket, you know who they go to. We saw that a few weeks ago. Nice finish there, Chris, and I totally agree about the 3-minute mark.
Almost a turnover there on Chapmanville, but they're able to save the possession. This Expression Prep wanting a carry called on Brock. Now here's Atkins, drives in, whistle, and a charge going to be called on Atkins.
Charge and call by Atkins. There, Benji kind of thought about the pass, decided to hold on for the shot, and the ref saw a charge.
And Coach Napper, all he could do was put his head in his hands after that call. That's only 2 fouls on Benji. But now a chance for Expression Prep again as Frazier in the paint can't hit. Rebound taken away by Smith.
Frazier, the young fella, gets the ball in the middle, unable to connect. A lot of contact there, no whistle. Let him play on.
Brock will give it over for Hovanek, down low to Atkins. Atkins faces a triple team and has it ripped away by Cox.
Such a smart play by Cox. Double and triple teams, what's going to take?
Oh, great steal by Brock, able to save it as he crashes into the Expression Prep bench, takes out several chairs.
Broad hustle by Brock, and he looks to come up a limping there. This young fella has been all over this court tonight.
Cox will kick it out. Smith got his hands on it, loose on the floor. Starcher gets it back to Cox, drives in, and a charge going to be called as Vance took the hit.
Vance takes the charge and immediately helps him up and says we can draw charges too. That's actually one of the trademarks of this Chapmanville defense. Everybody's willing to take that hit and put the body on the floor, and they get the ball back.
And that's the first charge Chapmanville's been able to draw here tonight. as Cox picks up his second foul. And again, just a game of inches, how close it was to just being a 4-point game. Now it stays at 6, but a steal again by Cox. Drives in on the right side, and he'll lay it in, so it is down to 4 now.
Such a crafty player. We've seen it on offense. There he shows it on defense. We saw him with a triple team steal on Benji Atkins. That time with the anticipation, steal and layup.
Atkins over for Vance, goes up and under. What a move by Jacob Vance.
Up and under by Jacob Vance. We saw him get the charge call, laying his body on the line. That time he's up and under for 2.
Big bucket right there on the reverse. Pushes it back to a 6-point Chapmanville lead. McCree over to Cox. He'll pull the trigger on a 3. Habenack may have got a piece of it.
I think you're right, Chris.
Now here comes Martin into the front court. He has it poked away from behind. Expression Prep tried to save it, but out of bounds, and probably lucky that it did get out of bounds. That went right to Vance.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's one of those nice hustle play, but fortunate for him, it was out of bounds to give him a free look.
Now Dalton, who's been out since about the midway point of the third quarter, now checks back in nearly midway through the fourth quarter with those 4 fouls.
Chapmanville able to hold on to their lead with one of their starters on the bench for quite a long time.
Martin will fire it in, gets it to Dalton, takes it left baseline, pull-up jumper in and out, rebounded by Tate.
Big man Tate's back in the game, taking control of that paint on that rebound.
Cox tries to drive in, double team, then going to get a reach-in foul here on Chapmanville.
Just like we've seen the attention that Benji Atkins draws, just right there where you see when Cox gets in an attacking zone, an area where he can score, they bring the double team.
That's going to be the 3rd foul now on Adkins. So he's got 3, Dalton has 4. And on the other side, Brown with 3 fouls, only 1 near foul trouble for Expression Prep right now.
They can ill afford to have Benji Atkins and Dakota Dalton, their 2 primary ball handlers in foul trouble.
Get it into Starcher. He'll bring it back out against Martin, and Chapmanville with a lot of size on the court right now. Top of the key. Cox waiting against Habenack, gives it off to McCree. McCree shovels it over for Starcher. Again, Habenack really contesting everything right now. Starcher took an really contested step-back jumper, no good, as Martin into the front court, lost control of it, and Cox takes it back.
Martin a little bit out of control there. Had a chance to hold it up for a second. Nice defensive play by Expression Prep.
Starcher may have traveled with that, but nothing called as he'll get it along the baseline, takes it inside, too strong on the layup and taken by Chapmanville.
Nice in and out with the left hand. He switched to the right hand to finish, unable to convert.
Now here's Dalton. Kicks it into the corner for Habenack. Thought about it, gives it back to Dalton. 3 from the left wing, no good. And there's Tate trying to secure the rebound, poked away from him, and last touch by Chapmanville.
Dalton trying to get things going after the extended stay on the bench, and Tate once again showing why he's a force underneath.
Now West will check back in. Starcher will go to the bench. I think he's being told by his coach, you don't need some of those jumpers you've been taking. I know he's had a bit of a heat check here in the second half, but he wants him to try and work for the good shot right now.
I really enjoy their coach, how he approaches the game, how he coaches his kids.
Down low, Brown can't finish. There's Cox trying to put it back in, no good, and Martin grabs the board.
Another missed opportunity there to cut this lead down. Still only a 2-possession game with just under 3 minutes to play.
And now a moving screen going to be called up top on Martin.
Getting very, very intense right here. Another offensive foul called on the Tigers. Gives the ball back over to Expression Prep.
And that's going to be number 3 on Kai Martin now. So it's 3 players for Chapmanville in foul trouble here with 2:55 to play.
You look up. I wonder if Expression Prep's going to push the issue here, trying to get into an early bonus, trying to slow this game down since they're behind right now.
McCree takes it to his left, gives it off. Cox trying to get some movement here, trying to get a clear out, see if he could take Smith off the dribble. Instead, he'll bring it over for West, gives it off to him. West will get it back out to Brown with 2.5 minutes to play. Brown looking, they try and set up Tate inside. Tate makes the grab, turn around in the paint, and he'll bank it home.
Way to stick with it there by Tate. Such soft hands around the rim, nice touch.
He said he had 15 in the JV game, gets his first 2 here. And now we'll get a whistle across mid-court. We're going to get a foul. Looks like maybe on McCree.
He's pressuring the ball up above half court. They call him, said he got a little bit too aggressive down there with Starcher. I didn't think Starcher would stay out too long there, Chris.
Yeah, you figured he was going to be out momentarily. Again, he's just too big on the offensive end for Expression Prep to have out, and now Brad Napper wants a timeout with 2:14 to go, a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep things here with Chapmanville clinging to a 4-point lead. Just a reminder, this game brought to you in part by Global Arc Ministry, Trend Services, Domino Printing, White Eye Care, Rebound Physical Therapy, Smell My Tarts, PT12 Pizza, Stereo Video Unlimited, Blessings and Blooms, and the Aracoma Story. And again, after the long trip down to Daytona and all the way back, you know there's got to be a little bus lag and everything else coming into play right now. So how much does Chapmanville have in the tank here in the final 2:14 to try and close this out?
Yeah, they stayed very busy over that Christmas break, playing great competition down south. And when they come back, they decide, they don't have a cupcake. They're right back into fantastic competition. And that's why you see this game being 4-point lead with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left on their home court.
And like we said, later on in the week doesn't get any easier. You got Charleston Catholic on Friday. You're going to have to take them on, and then Winfield right after that. So like we said, there's just been no cupcakes for Brad Napper and his crew, and they've stood up and stood proud here in the first couple weeks of this season against some great competition.
They will always enter February and March battle-tested.
Absolutely. And right now, battling against this tough Expression Prep club out of Huntington with 2 minutes to go now as Benji Atkins will bring it out, trying to work some clock right now. Both teams close to the foul threshold as we get a whistle and a timeout. As Coach Napper thought Benji was close to a 5-second call, and he'll call for a full timeout. So we'll take it as well and be back after this as you're watching high school basketball action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Three team fouls against Chapmanville here in the fourth quarter. 2 team fouls against Huntington Expression Prep, and it's a 4-point Tiger lead with 1:48 to go here in the fourth. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams here. J.J. Pruitt alongside us as well as Brock, able to save it. Gets it to Dalton, now to Martin. He'll finish, and the foul.
Nice. It all started with another save by Jay Brock. We've seen him do that multiple times a day. Gets it into Dalton. The immediate pass underneath to Martin, and he makes them pay now with a 3-point opportunity to extend their lead.
And that is a huge moment right there, as now he has a free throw to try and push this to a 3-possession lead as West will check in with 1:37 to go. Now you see substitutions all over the place. Going to try and play offense and defense here with Dalton, it looks like, as Hovanak checks in. Again, Martin, that huge finish. Again, the transfer from George Washington High School. 4 points here tonight, and he sinks a huge free throw. 49-42 now. Chapmanville leads it, and Expression Prep with their backs against the wall here. Starcher on the left side, Smith hounding him. Starcher gives it back over for Cox. Cox tries to penetrate inside against Atkins, goes with the left hand, and Cox with a great finish.
There's another example of that crafty playmaking ability by Cox.
That's 15 for him tonight. Up ahead, Smith lobs it over for Brock on the left side, and he'll lay it in.
Just easy break of the press, easy passing, attacking, easy finish for the Tigers.
Back to a 7-point lead now with 1 minute to go as Cox on the right side tries to blow by Hovenack, gets to the rim but misses as the rim blocked him more than anything. Now here comes Chapmanville out of the fray with it. Atkins up ahead to Martin, underneath pass, able to get to Smith. Layup won't fall, but there's Brock on the glass again as he'll bring it out, and he'll be fouled with 42 seconds left.
Jay Brock has been everywhere in the past few moments, and all game as well. He's saving them on the sidelines. He's getting there for offensive rebounds. He's getting in the mix with deflections. He's in large parts why Chapmanville's had so many second chance opportunities here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and he's had 12 points on top of that. Like you said, he's just been a defensive menace for Chapmanville. And so many chances, second chance opportunities he's created here tonight for the Tigers. And looks like they're going to say that foul was before the shot, so that'll be the fourth team foul against Expression Prep. Or there was no shot, actually. That was in the front court as they got across, but you can see they had to clean up some of the condensation on the floor. So now the next foul will put Chapmanville in the bonus as they get it into Dalton. Dalton trying to keep it in his hands. He'll give it over for Smith. Smith will lob it back out to Atkins. Time ticking away here. Down to 32 seconds now, and Brock going to be fouled as Chapmanville able to burn about 11 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, nice job there. Initially started there with Eli Smith, had a wide open three, but wisely just passes it back out to keep burning clock. Heads up play by Tate. He realized that pass got all the way over to the corner, rushed out to foul Jay Brock.
And now timeout called here by Expression Prep. 30-second timeouts will keep things here. Well, time now for our Tug Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game. And I tell you what, this is not an easy one here tonight, Dwayne. Again, you got Benji with 13 points. Been big on the glass. Jay Brock, 12 points. He's been all over the place. Then you have Eli Smith, big second half. Again, including that third quarter where he had 9 points. He's got 14 overall. So I don't think you can really go wrong with any of those three candidates.
No, absolutely not, Chris. I think we have somebody in mind. We're going to hold off now up to the end of the game.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's wait.
Let's tease it to the end.
Let's wait just a little. You never know here. 31.9, a lot can happen. A lot can happen.
But those candidates you named, it's very tough decisions if Chapmanville's able to hold on for this victory because they've each done it in spurts. Benji got the game started. Jay Brock's in a little bit of everything. And then Eli Smith with that spurt in the third quarter, and then the fourth when Dakota Dalton had to take a seat on the bench, he really stepped up. And what he's helped out a lot that I've seen away from the ball, flashing to the open spaces to help out trap teammates. Little things like that might be the separation for him if it holds on to this way.
A walk at the free throw line for Chapmanville. This one rattles out, no good. But Chapmanville's free throw shooting has been a lot more efficient tonight, as they've only had 3 misses on the game. They're 7 of 10 from the line overall, make it 8 of 11 as Brock hits the second. So now an 8-point lead, under 30 seconds to go. Brown drives in. Expression Prep trying to get something quick as he runs into Adkins, and now we're going to get a tie-up between Cox and him.
You got to love the fight by Cox. He doesn't care if it's Benji Atkins or an opposing guard. He goes right at him, fights for that, and you can see the wear and tear in this game on that young man.
23.1 seconds to go. Possession stays with Expression Prep. Starcher looking to inbound, gets it into Cox, puts it up quick, can't hit. Now Martin with the rebound, and now you can sense it for Chapmanville as this game starting to look like it's on ice for the Tigers.
It sure is, Chris, and what a battle it's been. Both teams fighting hard the entire way. We've seen, like we talked about when Expression Prep played against Logan, they had the ability to come back from being down. They showed that here as well, cutting it down to 6 and 4 points late, but every time they did, Chapmanville make a timely steal, a timely rebound, a timely shot to essentially give them this victory.
All right, so now maybe our Tug Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game. You made a compelling case there with Eli at the end, so you know what, I think we're going to go with Eli Smith as our Tug Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game. We really needed to make sure we got that out there so JJ knew it to chase down here in a moment for our post-game interview.
Yeah, and I agree, Chris. It was a tough decision, but he kind of secured that up, and congratulations to Eli.
Martin hits 1 of 2, long outlet pass up ahead. Here's Frazier on the right side, can't convert, gets it back, has it swatted away by Brock, and what a fitting way for it to end with Jay Brock on the defensive end as they get it ahead to Dalton with 3, with 2, gives it back to Smith, and that will do it this evening as Chapmanville holds off Huntington Expression Prep 53-44 in an exhausting, debilitating win here tonight, but Chapmanville outlast Expression Prep to pick up another big win against a tough opponent.
You said it, Chris. Very tough win, and I can already see a difference. From the first game of this season, we watched Chapmanville play in their season opener. They didn't look like a cohesive unit yet, and they're still missing Keaton Terry, which they hope to get back this weekend. So I think you're going to see another jump when they get him back in the fold, get him back in. Everybody used to play together once again. So I think that Chapmanville's on the right track, and as always, and like we said before, they'll be battle-tested and ready for February and March.
Well, let's take a final look at our scoring statistics here this evening. As for Expression Prep, they were led by Michael Cox with 15 points. Then you had Starcher with 14. And after that, things fell off the table offensively for Expression Prep as Brown had 6, Castillo had 3, Tate had 2, Frazier with 2, West with 2 to round out the scoring for Expression Prep. On the other side for Chapmanville, 3 players led the way in scoring. Again, you had Benji Adkins with 13, Jay Brock with 13, and Eli Smith actually led the way with 14 points here tonight for the Tigers, followed by Kai Martin with 6, Dakota Dalton with 5, and Jacob Vance with 2 points to round out the scoring here tonight. So again, it was an exciting 3 games here this evening from Chapmanville Regional High School. 2 games going to Expression Prep, each by 2 points. Chapmanville winning a defensive fight, 53-44. And now, Dwayne, we get a couple days off before we head up to Willie Acres Arena for a couple of days of some fantastic basketball.
Looking forward to it, Chris. We have some great matchups, so check that out on D&D Sports coming your way. So look like we got a great night of basketball here with 3 games, and we got 2 days of great basketball coming up, and we'll be glad to be there.
Absolutely, and we'll see you, Dwayne and I will, Friday night at 6 o'clock for Chapmanville and Charleston Catholic from Willie Acres Arena, and then Logan and Sissonville at 8 o'clock. So again, we want to thank all of our sponsors here tonight. We want to thank J.J. Pruitt, cameraman here, Dwayne Williams, collar man and engineer this evening, and I'm Chris Kidd saying so long here from Chapmanville Regional High School as you've been watching high school basketball action right here on the D&D Sports Network.